All right, let me ask you this. Okay, hold on. I messed up the joke.
Yeah.
This is why it's been the
Oh,
dad
he
joke.
messed it up.
No, I
He
messed up the
it
joke. Here's the delivery. Hold on. No. AP.
You're listening to the Daily Stand-Up by Lifetime Value. Consider this your daily dose of new ideas, fresh perspectives, and/or hot takes as they relate to the worlds of customer success, post-sales, or whatever the hell we're calling it these days, and where we ask each guest one simple question: what's on your mind?
We'll get started. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Welcome, lifers, to the Daily Stand-Up, a brand new project from Lifetime Value where we're giving you ideas daily that relate to customer success. I'm your host, and I'm thinking of making a company like Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. And I want to know, what do you guys think the first candle should be? What's the scent that should come from that company?
Beeswax.
What's got to be weirder than that, Brad? And we haven't introduced you yet, so you're screwing this up. No, I'm kidding. I'm your host, Dylan Young. JP, do you want to say hi?
Yes. Hi. I have no candles.
Stunned. Rob, can you say hi, please?
Hey, Brad. Nice to formally meet you.
And again, Brad has not been introduced yet. Brad, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. Brad Davis, founder of Success Panda. Happy to be here.
Thanks so much for being here, Brad. Brad, yeah. you know the story. We want to know what is on your mind in customer success today.
Yeah, so really what's on my mind is I've been, since starting Success Panda, which is aimed to be a marketplace for the entire CS space. Mm-hmm. I've spoken to, mentored, or coached, or mock interviewed hundreds of people in the past 3 months. And I want to talk about leadership and customer success. It needs to be talked about a little bit. So it's not, there's some things that we gotta cover.
Do you guys remember when you were kids and your parent would sit you down on your bed and they'd say, "We've got to talk"? That's the vibe I'm getting from Brad right now.
Yeah.
So expound a little bit. Tell us what exactly it is you want to talk about. You sound so disappointed.
No, I mean, I am, but I'm not, because here's the thing is when you talk to hundreds of people, you hear lots and lots of stories about people who are frontline people working for leaders. And the biggest deficit I think we have in this space is leadership. And the challenge is we have to define our words. So leadership, for me, simply means the ability to get results through other people. And so right now, there are a myriad of different challenges, but fundamentally, we have people that are in leadership positions who are bosses and not leaders. So we don't need to we don't need to dog on them. We need to help the leaders become better leaders. And then we need to help just organizations increase their knowledge base and increase their understanding of what it takes to be in a leadership role. Because the difference between a boss and a leader is a boss says, "This is what you should do because I told you should do it," right? And a leader is someone who says, "Let me come down to your level, help you, and show you how to get the result," right? So that's kind of that servant-based leadership style that's so popular, but at the same time, if you're just a boss, then
it works.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge.
So you said you didn't want to dog on anybody, but can you just give us some examples, maybe their name, their title, their LinkedIn URL, just so we have example? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'll blast that list out right now.
JP, I'd like to get your take on this, as you just recently made a transition and you're working with a new group. I want to know kind of like what's been your experience. How did you, as you were going through the process of finding a new role, one that fit you, how did you assess this exact thing that Brad's talking about?
Yeah, I think that I've learned over the years that, leadership is everything. Having the people in place that you feel like genuinely care about your development, who care about your ideas. I think that sometimes it can be very easy for people in more senior positions to be dismissive of ideas. I think what was cool about my company is that there was definitely a culture of being a learning organization. And I could tell in my two interviews, my two final interviews with both, managers, including the VP, that the VP is actually very much into mentorship, mentors people in the other space. And I really saw that this was a place where I could go and really learn and be mentored. And I think that just even giving off that vibe, right, is palpable, as opposed to what Brad was referring to as a boss. You can almost feel that difference, So yeah, that's sort of the first thing that came to mind why I thought, this job was so good for me. And Brad helped me. So
Yeah.
kudos
Shout
to
out
Success
OG,
Panda.
JP.
I
OG.
remember after JP talked to you, Brad, he was pumped about that conversation and the energy and the tips you brought. Yeah, definitely big shout out to that. Rob, I want to ask from the perspective of somebody who has led before. But how does this resonate with you, or are you like, this is all bullshit?
No, it resonates with me in a particular way, starting with the fact that I've been a very bad manager at times, and I've been a better manager at times, right? So I can honestly look back and say, now I just manage a team of one, and it's kind of a relief now. And I think
You don't even have plants, I've heard.
don't even
manage those.
No employees, no pets, no plants, whatever. One of the realizations that I had aligns really well with what you're saying, Brad, which is that if I thought of my role as a manager as being a CSM to my CSMs, well, what does that look like? That means that I'm responsible for their success. I'm responsible for measuring their engagement, measuring their satisfaction, and frankly, making sure that they renew every day they come to work, right? And that they expand, right? So that paradigm really helped me. And I changed my mindset of like running the team to one of serving the team. That's just from my personal experience. It helped me to scale up a team. I think the biggest team that I was on was like 82 people by the time I left, and really wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have that little moment of reconciliation with my own ego.
No, that's so key, because the number one trait that I look for in leaders is actually humility. So you just had right there, Rob. You're like, yeah, I recognize that I wasn't great, and then I decided I was going to get better. And humility is a hard thing to learn. And I think that from my conversations and all my history, I think it's challenging when you get to a certain level within an organization, directors or VPs, and people aren't used to feeling safe, even at a leadership level, to say these magic words, I was wrong. Right? Because it's like we all have this magic wand we wave, and we want our leaders to have every decision be the 100% correct decision every time. And no one has that level, that batting average, but yet we still kind of play along and like, oh, this is probably going to be the right thing that we're going to choose to do as an organization. And then it turns out that it's not as optimal as we thought, but it's okay, because as long as you have a level of humility, you're like, hey, it didn't work, but it's not the end of the world. We're going to pivot and try something new. But that gets to the point of being agile as a leader. Most leaders, what I find is people fundamentally are afraid to make mistakes, right? They're like, okay, fear is my base emotion. I don't want to make mistakes. I need the playbooks. I need the assets. I need the processes. I need the policies. I need my app framework. And then, and only then, will I go out and maybe dip my toe into I'm going to try to lead the team. But leadership is not like you're called into a leadership, or you're placed in a leadership position because there's not answers to questions. These are problems that haven't been decided or needed additional clarity. And so the number one thing that leaders can do is provide clarity. Because if you have clarity of what your team should be doing, and you're very clear about their KPIs, then it'll be like a dream come true when you start seeing the execution of all your people, because everyone's rowing in the same direction. So I'm really big on clarity for managers and leaders, and it's honestly, it's their job. It's your leadership's job to provide you clarity and provide you direction.
I like what you said about leaders admitting they're wrong. My early lesson in this, my dad is the most humble person I know, one of the most humble people I know, but he would always make this stupid dad joke, which is like, there was only one time I was wrong, and that was when I thought I was wrong, but I was actually right. It's really dumb.
Wow. It's a bit of a mind bender.
Yeah. We should exchange dad jokes sometimes because I got
Oh, yeah.
one that is always a laugher, but that's about
Go
it.
ahead. We got it. Hey, we got
Okay,
a little
all
bit
right.
of time here,
Here we
Brad.
go.
Let's go. Take
Here
us
we
out
go.
on a high note.
Yeah. So, how many legs does a cow milking stool have?
Oh my goodness. I have not had enough caffeine. JP, you got it? What is it?
All right, let me ask you this. Okay, hold on. I messed up the joke.
Yeah.
This is why it's been the
Oh,
dad
he
joke.
messed it up.
No, I
He
messed up the joke. Here's the delivery. Hold on. No. JP. Okay, here, JP. I knew you're in the zone on this. So, why does a cow milking stool only have 3 legs? Because the cow's got the udder.
Oh,
I
There you
like
go.
it.
okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just
And on
milking
that
it
note,
over here.
Brad,
Quality.
Yeah.
He's
on
just
that
milking
Children
note-
can hear that joke, and it's okay.
Yeah.
that's our time, Brad. I thank
Yeah.
you so much for bringing a topic and a grade A dad joke. Thank you so much, Brad. We'll see you around.
See you guys.
Great 2% dad joke.
You've been listening to The Daily Stand-Up by Lifetime Value. Please note that the views expressed in these conversations are attributed only to those individuals on this recording and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of their respective employers. For all inquiries, please reach out via email to dylan@lifetimevaluemedia.com. Find us on YouTube at Lifetime Value and find us on the socials at Lifetime Value Media. Until next time.
Hey folks, it's Dylan here. Thank you for tuning in as always. Now I've got a favor to ask of you. If you've made it this far, hopefully it means you like what we're doing with our program. So I'm asking you to please give this a like and a follow or a subscribe and leave a comment too. Your likes and your follows and your subscriptions, they allow us to keep doing what we're doing and reach a larger audience. Your comments help us make sure that we're making the best content for you. Best of all, it's free besides a few moments of your time. Thank you again for following along and we'll see you next time.